If you've been following my content for a while, you'll probably know that I'm a big fan of my medium format camera, the Bronica ETRS. The Bronica is fully modular and it shoots 6x5 frames, which in my opinion is a considerable step up in regards to the level of quality and detail that you're able to get in your shots when obviously comparing it with a 35mm camera. And although it's a smaller medium format frame size when comparing it to like a 6x6 camera or a 6x7 or even 6x9 camera, the quality is really good and you're able to get 16 shots per roll of film, which in my opinion is really good as well. So I was actually curious to see how much these were going for nowadays, and they seem to be averaging between 350 to 500 euros, which is not bad when comparing it to other camera brands such as the Mamiyas and the Pentaxes. So this one's still cheaper, and it seems to always or almost always come with the kit lenses, which is the 75mm 2.8, which I happen to have, and I love that lens. The level of detail and the overall quality that you're able to squeeze out of this budget medium format camera with its 75mm 2.8 lens isn't anything mind-blowing. However, I think there's just something to it that makes me gravitate towards it almost every time that I'm about to head out and shoot and need to decide which format or which camera to bring along with me. And like, you'd be surprised with the amount of detail that you're able to get from such an affordable lens. And again, it won't be mind-blowing, but in my opinion it's quite good for what it is, and I'm quite happy that this camera actually came with this lens because it seems to be the sharpest option out of the whole lineup. But again, this is what I've read online and on Reddit, and I've never actually shot with any other lenses from the Bronica lineup that were made for the ETR system, so hopefully I'll be able to do that one day. I love the fact that the camera is fully modular because it's really good in terms of reliability when you need to swap parts, or you can swap backs in the middle of the shoot, you can swap the viewfinder if that's something that you're into, and even though the camera is bulkier and heavier than your regular 35mm camera, obviously because of the size, I don't actually mind carrying the extra weight or carrying a bulkier camera just because I'm so focused on the results and on the shooting experience. And I don't know, the Bronica just checks a lot of boxes for me, and this is just my opinion, but obviously I'm sharing it with you. Just want to share my feedback in regards to this system. The camera never failed on me and it's super reliable, but there's only one thing going on with my film bag, which has been battered for like, I don't know how many years, because this kit was bought from a wedding photographer that used to shoot weddings like full time, and sometimes when I load a fresh roll of film, the frame counter, instead of being set to 0 as the default, it tends to jump to a random number. I don't think it's random actually, I think it jumps to frame number 10 because there's something going on with the spring inside the sprockets when you put the back on the camera. That's when there's like a contact between the camera and the back, and the spring just jumps to this random number. But I now know how to set it up to 0, but in the beginning it was a bit tricky and a bit frustrating because it happens mid-shoots, mid-portrait shoots, so there's other people involved. It was a bit stressful, not gonna lie, but my back is just messed up and I need to either try and fix it or just buy a new one. Thankfully, finding spare parts for this camera is not difficult at all, and they're not that expensive because these cameras were mass produced. And just a curiosity, my ETRS was actually manufactured between 1978 to 1980. Just a curiosity. And there's a bunch of film bags, like 120 and 220 bags. There's a bunch of viewfinders because this camera is part of the ETR system. So you've got the viewfinder for the ETR, you've got this one for the ETRS, you've got the one for the ETRS-I that came out afterwards, which already has a built-in light meter. Mine doesn't, but I don't mind using my phone and an app to meter the lights, but I would definitely love to get one of those, not gonna lie, they seem to be quite accurate. There's a bunch of other parts that you can get for it, like obviously lenses, but there's also a grip that you can buy for it. Yeah, these seem to be readily available on eBay and other random camera parts, used camera parts that I've seen online, so replacement parts are definitely not an issue for this system. So I've used this camera to shoot portraits and I really enjoy the results that I got with it. And I've also taken it on a few trips, and I took it to the one when I went to Poland and Slovakia. I went with it to the Azores, where I shot a bunch of beautiful landscapes and cityscapes. And I actually made videos for the Poland and Slovakia trip, the one for the Azores as well. And I did another video, or another couple of videos actually, for portrait shoots using the Bronica. So I'll definitely link those below if you want to check them out. And yeah, like I just wanted to make this video because I feel like people are always talking about Pentax and Mamiya's, and Bronicas are like lesser known because Bronica, I don't think it's like a big brand such as those two, and people seem to not know it. But I've also noticed that recently, obviously because of the price increase in everything like that's film related, people are now starting to realize that Bronicas are an option. And I actually get a few messages on Instagram every now and then, and I get comments on my Bronica related videos on YouTube about people who are wanting to get into the system, or people who just got into the system and have all of this feedback and have all of these questions that they want to ask, and again, feedback that they want to share. And I feel like people are trying to find their community related to everything Bronica. And it's so nice to have these interactions. And I've mentioned this before, like my goal with YouTube is to build a community, and these interactions are everything to me. And this is one of the main reasons why I'm doing this video. I just want to put some more Bronica material out there and make you feel comfortable to engage with me via either YouTube or Instagram, whatever, and to just talk to me about cameras and photography because I love it. And don't we all though? We do. This video wasn't meant to be super technical or anything, you know the drill. Like I'm really technical with my cameras and with my lenses, but I think I suck at talking about these aspects of the equipment on video, so you'll know how to find those online. In here, I just wanted to share my opinion, my feedback, my experience, and make this video dedicated to the Bronica itself because I think it deserves it. And hopefully a lot of people or just new people will find the video when looking it up on YouTube, and I'll hope that it sparks some sort of conversation. And yeah, please drop a like if you like the video, leave a comment down below and let me know if you've got any thoughts that you want to share, any feedback, and consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't already, because all of these things combined help a lot, like with the algorithm, and it just allows YouTube to think that, like, to notice that people are interested in this content and will show video to new people that might possibly join our community. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.